Aloha. It is the 9th of December 2022. How is everybody doing? So, I'm starting my day. I'm in my office right now. And these last couple days, I've pretty much done nothing uh, other than my regular requirement. But I made a point the other night to go look through my comments. And first and foremost, there are no words I can say to those who have watched my progression, uh, watched to hear what I had to say, and supported me. There are no words. I mean, I've been on YouTube now, shoot, almost a decade. I mean, I know you can't see that in my subscriber base. And that's fine because all things happen when they should. And I've come to realize that sometimes when you don't have, you do. What do I mean by that? I look at the narrative of where social media has gone through this last decade. I've watched people come from out of nowhere, gain an audience for positive influence, and I've watched those who may have chosen a different route for instantaneously, my soup is not working, instantaneous notoriety, which is a difference. And, just like you hear the term famous and infamous, they're both of the same spectrum. They're just on different aspects of the duality. And that's the one thing I've learned about life. The hardest thing man, this coffee's hot. The hardest thing that you're going to ever learn, if you should decide to do so, is how to invest in your life. How to be transparent, not only with your audience, but more importantly with yourself, because you are what you attract. I've always echoed that. And I've watched and I've seen a lot of things that, for some of you, made you scratch your head, made you question why, made you tap into every emotion in the fiber being of who you are. And I realized that it's all to show you either what you need compared to what you don't. Even to the point where it may seem like your feet are being placed to the fire. Not to the point that it will burn it, but to feel the pressure if you should decide to make a choice not in your best interest. And for a long time, I noticed there's always been someone that has the right not to agree, not to understand, or downright feel a certain kind of way. And guess what? They're entitled to. They are entitled because at the end of the day, it's your life. It's the one thing that I've come to learn about life. Everybody will share the same vantage point, but from a different perspective. But if you don't take from what's being offered or shown to you to understand why you're seeing it, as they say, you're deemed to repeat it. Through the years, we've even had folks give a title of, oh, those are haters. If you don't have a hater, you're not doing you're not doing it right, because why would someone waste their precious time to worry about, to focus, to criticize what you doing? And I'll be honest with you, it used to bother me. Listen, I know what it feels like to not be in control of a narrative. And what I mean by that is, no matter what your best intent may have been, you can't dictate the outcome of how it's interpreted. I understand that. I used to even be so shook up. I was like, why do I have people that care about, first of all, why do people care what I say or do? Unless it was because they were able to see that it came from a truly genuine place. You're looking at a person that has had to deal with stalkers. There's no other way I can say that. But no matter how high of a road, I mean, I've literally sat down, responded, made videos, hoping that they would understand that, hey, that's not the way to go. And then I got to a point of just doing what I always do, stay prayed up. And I get it, because I know there's a lot of people that are like, how is he moving the way he's moving? And where does he get the information that he gets? And why does he articulate it the way he does? First and foremost, everything that I speak comes from within. But it comes from him. I don't write anything down. And if our paths were to cross, the person that you see from your vantage point would be the person that you would see in real life. Only difference is the scale, because I'm tall. I'm a big guy. But what's the biggest about me has always been my faith and my heart. Some of my most greatest tests have been about affairs of the heart, or trials and tribulations of the heart, because I genuinely am a caring man. But one thing that I've learned, that no matter what setback, no matter what disappointment, no matter what misunderstanding that may have been, I still pray for resolution. Now, here's the thing. I'm a strong advocate of understanding the power of free will, but I'm also a bigger advocate of a person showing empathy and compassion. Because one of the jewels I learned as a little boy, you know, my grandmother used to always say, my mom used to always tell me, it said, there's always somebody that has it worse than you. And I'm going to tell you, if people knew my story, were able to look at my life, you would be shocked. I say that with all humility. You would be shocked at the things that I've faced, the things I've had to endure. Even my parents don't know. And you would question, damn, how does he have his sanity? How is he not incarcerated because of things that have happened to you and having a vengeful heart? But I also learned that to have your story, you got to go through it so that you can understand the wisdom that comes from the experience of coming on the other side. Why am I saying this? We are on the doorstep of 2023, family. Let me say that again. We are on the doorstep of 2023. As I've always echoed in all my videos, look back to where you were the beginning of this year. Take a moment to reflect at the experiences, the highs, the lows of this year. You got that part? Now, take that and go back 5 years. Think back to where you were in 2017. Can you see the progression? Can you see the growth? Or, unfortunately, do you realize the people that were there are not there compared to the people that were there that are? Those people have your best interest. And hopefully through their behavior and mannerism, they are the example of why you call them friend, why you call them companion, why they are your voice of reason. Because guess what? Your environment is nothing but a reflection of what is found in your psyche. Yes. See, if you are not growing, there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is there is something that you are holding on to or refuse to acknowledge. It could be a fear. It could be a trauma. It could be something that has you numb. So let me ask you this. Does it surprise you how that has an impact on your smile? That has a reaction to your peace of mind? You shouldn't be walking through life skittish or constantly looking over your shoulder, or wondering about the conversations had with those that you have company, second guessing yourself. You're not at peace. And if you're not at peace, you will never have a foundation to build upon, to stand upon, to reflect upon. It is no more than having a glass that is fractured. It is whole for a while, but eventually it's going to fall apart. So why am I saying this? I will always remain optimistic about the future. Some people call me a dreamer. Some people don't want to put in the work. But at the end of the day, you have to answer to only one person. And that is the person in the mirror that knows your secrets, that knows your weaknesses, knows your strengths, and knows what you need. And that is you. So, yeah, I will do a video for, as I've always done, the end of year wrap up. That'll be coming. As for what I've been doing, I've got all my equipment is pretty much 99% set. All I have to do is start tweaking the platforms. I don't know if I'm gonna use OBS or StreamYard. I don't know, but I've got all the software. I've got everything I need so that I can start live streaming. I look forward to you guys interacting. I do have as I mentioned before, I have a chat line number. I have one. I've had it for a couple months, actually 4. And I've already licensed 7 songs from this producer out of Paris, France, named Venus Beats. Very talented guy. He's on YouTube, and I just haven't figured out what I'm going to use, which one I'm going to use as my intro, and this is a work in progress. But more importantly, this is about finally getting to interact with each and every one of you, chopping it up, and helping each other bring the best of each other out for this next year. And we'll go into that real soon. But lastly, I felt compelled to put this video out just now because there's a difference between admirers and then there are those that it is very obvious they're broken. And I'm not going to put them out on Front Street, because as a man I just won't. But just know, I truly hope you find your happiness, you find your peace, and you find your story. I know you're saying, well, why you say that, Gerald? Well, are they a troll? Are they trolling? Oh, no. This is worse. I have had this person literally for 5-6 years. I've blocked them. I've been respectful. I've done everything I could to be civil, and I don't know. It's just something about Gerald they like, I guess. I don't know. And look, and let's keep this a buck too. And this is for everybody. Because we live in a social media age, you're going to have folks that do not have your best intentions. And they're praying for your downfall. And every time that you show and show growth or progression in your life, they're gonna kick themselves. They're gonna kick themselves, and it could depend on the fact of what the connection was. It can be someone you were romantically inclined with. It could have been someone that was who you call friend. I'm a firm believer, as you've all have heard the phrase, the old saying, people come into your life for a reason, season, and a lifetime. The ones that are doing the work, you don't have to worry about that because they are the example of that. The ones that never had your best interests at heart, or they can't get what they want out of you, no different than a little child with a tantrum. But you keep being you. You keep pursuing your purpose. You keep loving yourself first. That is not being selfish, it's called being selfless. Because if you do not love yourself, how can you give love to someone else? Remember, we are what we attract. But if you're not willing to have the conversation with yourself, to sit down and truly be brutally honest about your needs compared to what your wants are, you're only delaying the inevitable. But is it worth your life? And what I mean, is it worth your life? Is it worth the bigger picture? Because if you're not happy, you're living a life that's you're miserable, you're not living life. And who does that benefit? Who does it benefit? It doesn't benefit you. But what it does do is unfortunately attract those who are the same. Hence, that's why some people, life is filled with drama and chaos and calamity. Why? Because they refuse to acknowledge what they need and put the work in. It's about growth, family. But lastly, if you don't put the Most High first, I know Him as the Father, the great I Am. If He is not first in all that you do, you will fall short. It's no different than trying to put lipstick on a pig. What is the point? You're giving away free energy, time, resources to something that can't grow. Don't do yourself a disservice as such. You deserve better. So family, I hope that you have a safe weekend, wherever you are, in the town near you, city near you, the state near you, worldwide. It's time to have that conversation with yourself if you haven't. Some of y'all are walking around with that emotional backpack filled with sorrow and regret. You want to change that? It's called forgiveness. If somebody wronged you, forgive them. If you wrong someone else, ask for forgiveness. You don't have to proverbially ask, but within your heart, it starts there. Because they may not be on the same page to want to receive that. But you'd be surprised what a text message can do. You'd be surprised what a phone call can do. You'd be surprised what an interaction can do. Far too many people allow their prides to sever ties that shouldn't have. And then, unfortunately, when they're gone, you can't make peace. I love each and every one of you. But more importantly, love yourself first. You're worth it. Aloha. Be blessed.